Hello NBA fans, and welcome back to another episode here on the NBA The Week That Was. Today I'll be taking a close look at the Atlanta Hawks and how they flipped the script under a new interim head coach in Nate McMillan and currently sit at the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Before I get into this video, it would be great if you guys could hit the subscribe button. Subscribing is completely free and it really helps me out here on the channel. Now, let's get right into the video. On March 1st, 2021, the Atlanta Hawks made the long-awaited decision to fire head coach Lloyd Pierce. Pierce served as the Hawks coach for 2.5 years and had a total record of 63 wins and 120 losses. Unfortunately for Pierce, the loss of his job was inevitable with the position he had the Hawks in. When he was fired, the Hawks were sitting at the 11th seed in the East with a record of 14-20. While many Pierce defenders, including legendary Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, claimed that his firing was unfair given how injuries had hampered the Hawks, thus leading to their horrible record, I was all for Pierce being shown the door. Pierce had been brought in as a developmental leader. He wasn't the greatest basketball mind, but he had a strong track record of developing players into stars as an assistant coach, some players including Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. The Hawks hoped that he could spur the development of their young core while also learning on the job to become a better coach in terms of the X's and O's, drawing up plays, and just being a better basketball mind. However, it really didn't end up happening. Hawks franchise star Trae Young and Pierce never had the best relationship, and soon Pierce's relationship with all the players began to sour. Eventually, Pierce had lost the locker room, and when that happens, nothing can be salvaged. To right the ship and make the playoffs as they had intended, the Hawks needed a new voice. McMillan has brought that voice to the Hawks. Under McMillan, the Hawks have an 8-1 record and look poised to be a strong team in the playoffs. Let's take a look at the few key reasons for the resurgence under McMillan. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge the return to form for many key players. Under Pierce, the Hawks suffered a ton of injuries that left them extremely depleted. These players included DeAndre Hunter, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Danilo Gallinari, and Rajon Rondo. All of these players have missed more than 5 games this year, and most of those came under Pierce. This left Pierce with a roster quite similar to last year's team that went 20-47, with the only noticeable difference being Clint Capella. Under McMillan, Gallinari, Bogdanovic, and Rondo have already returned to form and have proved the reasoning behind the investment that was made in them. Gallinari has finally found his shooting touch off the bench. Bogdanovic is quite close to regaining the form he had with the Kings as a dynamic shooting guard who can both score and play make, and Rondo has looked like the savvy veteran point guard who runs the second unit for the Hawks. Just last night, DeAndre Hunter returned against the Clippers, and despite the loss and the minutes restriction, he looked every bit the two-way menace he had developed into as a second-year player this year. While it may be the fact that Bogdan and Danilo just needed a few games after injury to get back to their true levels, I have to admit that McMillan has been utilizing them to the best of their abilities in his rotations. They are able to capitalize on the weaker benches of most NBA teams and wreak havoc on them offensively. Speaking of McMillan's rotations, that is another key reason to the Hawks' resurgence. Pierce was always criticized for his rotations and utilization of players. Many fans and analysts like myself would believe that he would keep the bench in for too long when the team was losing momentum, and he would consistently call timeouts at odd times when it really didn't make sense. McMillan has done a great job of balancing the playtime of all the players and has been using the right players at the right time to get the Hawks key victories in close games. Under Pierce, the Hawks struggled in the fourth quarter and lost many close games that were quite winnable up till the fourth quarter. McMillan's significant experience as both an NBA player and head coach allows him to be calmer in the fourth quarter and direct his team to victories in tight situations. The Hawks have looked just as good in the fourth quarter as they do in 3 other quarters, something that was really not the case when Pierce was coaching the team. Overall, McMillan has done a wonderful job of leading the Hawks back into playoff contention as the interim head coach, and if things stay this way, I truly hope the Hawks retain him permanently for the next few seasons as our lead coach. And with that, I would like to wrap up this analysis of the Atlanta Hawks here on the NBA The Week That Was. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and like the video while you're at it. I'll catch you guys next week on the NBA The Week That Was. See ya!